Hey, so I had um a shitty night last night as far as anxiety. And I figured, what the fuck? I have some time today. Why not kind of brain dump about it? And all right. I've discovered that there's a name. It's not just anxiety. So it's sort of like a sector of anxiety, if you will, okay, that kind of makes it uh I don't know. You feel better when you feel like, oh yeah, okay. So there's a thing that people. This is a thing that is a problem for people, and basically, so it's sensory, motor, OCD, or oh fuck, somatic OCD. Thank you, brain. And so basically, it's when you've got a hyper awareness of bodily sensations, which is all my anxiety has ever really been, except for like the normal like stuff that most people deal with, you know. And I was like, holy guacamole, people. All right, this is all right. We're a group of people, okay? Because I talk to a lot of people who have that is rude, who have anxiety. You gonna okay watches, right? All right, so I talk to a lot of people who have anxiety, but they don't. It's yes, okay, so we can all relate. If you have PVCs, we're all kind of like, ew, those suck. Except I've met some people who they're like, oh yeah, I guess I have those, but whatever. I'm like, wow, you are a freak of nature. But anyway, um, so yeah, I'm not really talking about that, although that does fall in line with the whole OCD, the sensory somatic OCD, because when they start up, I am very much more aware that they are an existing thing in my life. Um, but what I'm really talking about is just being obsessed with your own bodily awareness. It could be heartbeat, blinking, swallowing, breathing, which is your girl's thing right here. So, uh, I remember when I was maybe 6 years old, I was in my bunk bed at my Graham's house, okay? And my brother is in the bed below me, and like everything's cool. I could never sleep. I don't know what it is about me, but I never really was someone who fell asleep easily or who slept well. So I'm awake and I'm chewing on my hair as I usually did, and I had this thought. All right, so what if, wouldn't it be weird if, I don't know, like, a piece of my hair was stuck in my throat and I was always like, for the rest of my life? And wouldn't you fucking know? It just spiraled into this, like 3 year span of these intrusive thoughts evolving around, um, choking on shit, food, whatever. It was wild. It was a wild time in my life. Like I stopped eating so much food and I was just a kid. My parents were like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "I'm obviously dying." Is that not clear to you guys? Anyway, so I remember my dad was like, he just like looked me in the eye one day, well, the eyes, because I got two, and he says, "Look, kid, I don't know what you're going through. Um, but if you were dying, we would know about it, okay?" I'm like, well, would you know about it? I even at 6, I was like, sir, nobody. I mean, these are just things. You just never know what's going on. Anyway, right? So, whatever. Anyway, that conversation kind of helped me because I was like, okay, maybe if dad says that, then maybe I'm all right. So I just moved on to something else. And, you know, I was about 9 at this time when I moved on to something else. And I didn't understand what breast tissue was. So when I felt like lumpy stuff in my chest, I was like, oh my God, it is tumors in my chest. And well, probably I have breast cancer. So that sucks. And I lived in this like fear state of just like I said, even the choking one, that was this whole year, these years of fear, just constant, like obsessing over these thoughts that I would have about swallowing and choking and things like that. And then the cancer thing, that's more of like a health anxiety thing that people deal with. So that was, I get both of them, which is, you know, it's a great time. So yeah, that sucked. And eventually, once I realized I just had breast tissue, I moved on to something else like bone cancer and the swallowing thing again, and so many things. And I started having PVCs, and so I was terribly obsessed with my heartbeat. And yeah, it's if I can't tie an anxious thought to it, it does not have power. You know what I mean? So blinking, people get obsessed about blinking, and I don't. It does not. I don't care if I blink 100 times, so it wouldn't become a powerful, intrusive, obsessive thing for me. However, like my heartbeat, that's kind of like an important thing to me. Breathing, that's that's where I'm fucked up now. So I've been in that cycle for since 2015, just off and on. Constantly, not constantly, but when I'm in the cycle, obsessing over my breathing, just awareness of it. You're really not supposed to be aware of it. Like it's a thing that just it's an automatic bodily function. So you're not supposed to be regulating it yourself with your brain, like your own thoughts. You know what I mean? So that it creates a terrible amount of anxiety, like super tightness in the chest. I get PVCs from it because I'm fucking with like the natural flow of air in and out, either shallow breathing or breathing too deep. But anyway, this morning I was just like, and many mornings since this started, I would feel like, am I breathing? Like I know my chest is moving in and out, but I can't tell the difference between the exchange of air, like in or out. It all feels the same, and then I start to have a panic attack. And it's a wild thing because I'm completely creating this on my own. Like I am the architect of my own misery with this. And that's a scary thing, but also like an empowering thing because I'm the one who can stop it. It's not like I have something terribly wrong with me that makes it hard to breathe or anything like that. And that's super reassuring. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if I'm the one in control and I'm the one who's been really orchestrating all of these anxious thoughts and these symptoms and all of this stuff I've been dealing with over the years, am like that's a scary thought to me too because this is what I've done. This is what I do. How do I not do it? So, and really, it just comes down to I think what it comes down to and what I'm working on is just kind of being like, all right, all of this shit, it, it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Um, and what I mean by it doesn't matter is like, I don't want to give it power of like, oh, this is important. I need to focus on this. Like, it doesn't matter in the sense of like, it's just useless brain energy and it's actually making my life pretty terrible. So, that's one of the things. And then just kind of just acknowledging that, oh, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, there's no matter how many times I try and convince myself, oh, maybe it's something actually wrong with me this time, yeah, it's not, thankfully. So, yeah, there I kicked my table, sorry. Um but yeah, it's fucked up. It's really just crazy how powerful your mind is. Um And I've noticed that these cycles start to amp up when something stressful happens. So, I mean, obviously, that's for most people. But yeah, it's tough. Life is hard. Harder for some than others, and that's just the way it goes. But like, what I've learned, and really I've learned in the last year, mostly. I always kind of had this awareness of it, but like truly, I got to see the effects play out in front of me so devastatingly too, of what happens you don't when you carry your trauma like around in your little imaginary backpack, and you just keep packing things in and whatever. That's the analogy I always use because it just makes so much sense to me. You just pack all these little traumatic experiences and all this sadness and this grief and this whatever into your little backpack, and that shit eventually gets too heavy to carry. And shit, some people, you don't recover from it. You just, because you have removed yourself from any opportunity to recover from it, i.e., taking your own life or things like that. So really, when I experienced that with my mother, it really, it was so eye opening, and it was like wow, because I I could be just like her if I choose, because it's a choice. It is a choice, as much as that can be offensive to people. It's a choice to continue to carry around that shit. That's a choice we make. And I made it for many, many years. And some days I still do. You know, some days it's like there's this incredible darkness in my mind. And I'm like, wow, life is not at all what I expected it to be. And my heart is broken. And the people I care about, their hearts are broken. And like that, sometimes that really can overtake my day. Um, and that's a choice I make to let it. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy. It's not easy to look at your life and the things that you are sad about, or that you've lost, or that you struggle with, or whatever it is. It's really hard to not carry those things with you because it's part of who you are, in a sense. Like all of our experiences shape us to be who we are. But I feel like a lot of us define ourselves with it, set limitations for ourselves, and tell ourselves these stories about who we are based on our conditioning by our parents, by society, by family, by relationships, whatever it is. And what is not, it's usually not the truth. It's not the reality of who we are in our lives. So that's what I'm going to do with this whole thing, is to, and like I've been doing with my life problems, just to acknowledge it, accept it for what it is, and try and let it go. Just toodaloo. All right, see you later. I, is not, yeah, again, it takes practice and commitment, and lots of work. I feel like lots and lots of work to undo who you are, not who you are, who you think you are. You know what I'm saying? Am I making any sense? I think I am. So, without further ado, I'm going to stop recording this video now, and I hope y'all have a great, fantastic day, and that this has resonated with you in some way, and that you're not mad that I said you choose to carry around your trauma. Okay, bye.